Galveston, Texas, you got some clouds coming in. The waves are picking up a little bit as well as the winds pick up from the south. Some moisture streaming in overhead, already creating a few showers and thunderstorms in the area. But you have a chance to see some severe storms over the next couple of hours as a trough of low pressure continues to dig through Texas, and the cold front tries to catch up with the moisture coming around the base of that trough. Thanks for joining us here on Weather Nation for one of your Weather Nation Nows at 0:20:40 past the hour. We are getting out the Viper radar and showing you the water vapor first to kind of paint the picture of what's happening here. We have an area of low pressure that's moving its way through Lake Huron at the moment, and that is bringing this cold front all the way down to the south. But it is a little bit back behind this better area of convection, which is picking up right around the base of this trough. So there's our big trough that's swinging its way through portions of Texas, and it's helping disperse some of that rain and shower activity right now with this big area of divergence across Texas to Louisiana and Arkansas. But the problem is, and as I zoom in here, I want to draw on a line of where these storms are at the moment. They're most of the stronger storms out across this area, but if we put on our temperatures at the moment, you can see where the cold front is. It's way back here, or maybe even in this region, but you can see where the difference is, and that difference is going to make just a difference in creating the better showers and thunderstorms, creating some better lift with this system. So not all of the ingredients are lined up very well, but we have enough of them so that we could still see a few strong to severe storms. We'll try to pick out the cold front with the dew points as well. So that paints a better picture as well. So the cold front somewhere in this general area, very dry out behind the front. Dew points in the 30s. We're out ahead of the front. We're mostly into the 50s and low 60s. So moisture's a little bit limited as well, unless you're closer to the coast, down towards Victoria, Corpus Christi. That's where we have some of those dew points surging to nearly 70 degrees, and which is why part of the reason why the Storm Prediction Center has highlighted this area for the chance for some severe storms today. We'll put back on our radar right now to show you some of those storms that are working their way through Corpus Christi. Not much in the way of thunderstorm activity. These are intensifying as they lift to the north, so Corpus Christi, not a great chance to see some stronger thunderstorms today, but we are seeing a lot of lightning in some of these storms that are passing near the Bryan area, just crossing I-45 out near the Madisonville area. And these storms did have some better wind gusts when we just looked at them about 20 to 40 minutes ago. We'll put on the Houston radar, which is probably the closest to this spot, and show you what's going on inside some of these storms. So this is where you could see some better wind gusts, potentially upwards of around 30 to 40 miles per hour, and some general broad rotation of the storm. Now, the problem is this area is a little bit farther away from that Houston radar, so this is probably sampling not near the surface of the storm. It's probably in the mid-levels of that storm system, so this rotation probably not working its way to the surface. Some of those stronger wind gusts may not be either, but it is telling us that some of these storms are starting to get a little bit better organized. So we'll keep our eye on these for you. If they issue any severe warnings, we'll be here with you, and of course, we always have them scrolling at the bottom of the screen. But let's get you out to Houston, one of the spots that could see some severe storms as this line continues to roll in, but the rain ahead of this system helps to limit some of the instability.
It does, and that will definitely be the limiting factor today, the instability, which is the energy. And so you can see it's very cloudy across Houston right now with some rain on the camera. That's what we expect with some showers coming in off the Gulf of Mexico. But if it was to be sunny, things would be very different with this system. But the lack of energy, really, because of all the cloud cover across the coast, is probably what's going to keep this a lower end event for us. We do have this upper low digging and strengthening, and those jet stream arrows are spreading out across East Texas, and that's what's helping give us that upper level lift that we need in the atmosphere. But at the surface, we need that good surge of Gulf of Mexico moisture, and Rob was just talking about that. It is mostly the good moisture pinned toward the coast and the I-10 corridor, but there will be a very narrow window of time where we'll have all of this good surge of moisture with the developing low pressure system and enough energy. These greens and yellows that are offshore, that's the better energy, but areas in blue here right along the Texas coast for later on this morning and into the afternoon, that's when we could maximize what little energy there is and get the chance for a severe storm or two. We now include the Houston metro area in the severe weather outlook that goes back to Victoria and Corpus Christi. Corpus Christi on the southern end of things, probably not going to get quite as much there, but gusty winds will be our main threat across the entire area, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts or higher, and also the potential for a brief weak spin-up tornado is there as well, because we do have some wind turning with height in the lower atmosphere. That would be primarily maximized between Victoria and out towards Galveston, but really anywhere along the coast we could see this chance for a brief weak spin-up. spin up. Heavy rain, though, another big concern where we could see some flooding too across East Texas, but especially towards the 1 p.m. time frame. This is the time that our models have really been honing in over the last day of some gusty thunderstorms, and you can see these across parts of East Texas, Houston, Galveston, getting some of that very heavy rain in those wind gusts with this system, and then it really quickly moves offshore. This is a snapshot of 5 p.m. and this leading line is already into parts of south central Louisiana. That's what we mean with a very narrow time of a window of opportunity for this system to maximize that energy. So there's probably not going to be a whole lot of reports today, but the system continues to work its way along the coast to the east, and even into tomorrow we'll see heavy rain across a lot of the southeast. Florida, Tampa had some tornadoes earlier this week. Maybe again for tomorrow, the potential for some severe storms there as this cold front lingers around into the afternoon hours and even into Monday. The system is really going to be very slow, so we're going to have to watch for the potential for severe storms tomorrow into Florida. As of now, it is just a general thunderstorm risk, but that could get upgraded depending on those energy levels, and we'll let you know if there are any changes here coming up. Want to talk about the weekend travel forecast too, because this is just one region where we have active weather.
Yeah, across the east as well, the northeast around the Great Lakes, you may run into some issues on the roadways this weekend with some light snow coming down, and the northeast looks to stay fairly active into next week. So if you have travel plans on the roadways, probably want to budget yourself a little bit of extra time to get to your destination. We've seen some light snow this morning across the peninsula of Michigan, mostly on the northern half, and then across the east, of course, we have the 40 inches of snow that are still going to be melting for days, if not weeks to come. The cold front's going to be the main driver of the weather this weekend, but we also have some heavy rain that's expected to move in across the northwest with some heavy snow, although a lot of the snow in the northwest this weekend is going to be above pass level. The east is looking at mixed showers with some snow around the northeast, especially around the Great Lakes, heavier rain to the south across the Mississippi River, into the Tennessee River Valley, into the evening hours, and then Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon, snow lifting to the north across the Ohio River Valley, in through western Pennsylvania, western New York, and eventually into New England Sunday night. A quick break between the storms, but the forecast is not looking too bad today. Chicago at 41, Boston at 33 with partly cloudy skies. We'll be right back to talk more about the West and how much rain is expected to come down over the end of the weekend.
Men everywhere are now cutting their hair at home. Are you? Introducing MicroTouch Titanium Trim, the all-new at-home hair cutting tool and precision groomer. Just a trim or a full haircut. Now, cutting hair is as easy as combing hair.
It's the only way to cut your hair by yourself. I don't know how people can do it with clippers. It's impossible. With this, it's way easier.
I did this at home. If you can comb it, you can cut it. Simple.
Titanium Trim reinvents everything with a revolutionary design that positions the blades on the side just like a comb, making it easy to cut your own hair with confidence. Now, if you can comb it, you can cut it. Snap on a comb to dial in the perfect length for your style, long, medium, or short, and just comb and cut for pro-level results at home.
I just pop on that comb and I get a perfect trim every time. I literally can't make a mistake. I can give myself a professional at-home haircut how I like it.
Sometimes I just need a little bit off, and that's what's great about this product. You have these guards, and you just take a little bit off. Okay, I'm good.
Now, if you can comb it, you can cut it. Snap off the comb and edge sideburns and beards, or clear your neck and shoulders with zero irritation. And look, Titanium Trim extends a full 40 millimeters for those hard-to-reach areas. Nothing else comes close.
I thought it was really cool that it can extend. It really helps.
That extra little extension made it so easy. I would never use any other clippers. This is the one to use.
Micro-polished stainless steel blades bonded with titanium, precision-engineered comb attachments, built-in extension handle with a non-slip grip and LED spotlight. Just comb it and cut it with MicroTouch Titanium Trim. Order online now at titaniumtrim.com or call 1-800-453-1330.
Nobody can get to their barber as much as they'd like anymore, but now you don't have to.
If you don't have it, you better get it.
The revolutionary, all-new MicroTouch Titanium Trim.
Well, a lot of snow coming down in Binghamton, New York. They broke a record, in fact, for, I believe it was the biggest snowstorm on record, but got a total of around 40 inches measured at the airport. And what you're looking at here is a white tarp roof that had collapsed. This was an inflatable roof on a sports complex that was designed to hold a lot of weight, folks, but the weight of 3 to 4 feet of snow spread out even over some of the sturdier roofs out there can be enough to cause that to collapse. So the process of getting that snow cleared off and melting is going to take some time, so hopefully they'll be able to get that thing back up and running sometime soon. But we're going to have a chance for another little bit of light snow moving in this weekend through the end of the weekend, and then into next week. This pattern across the Northeast looks to stay fairly active. A couple of areas of low pressure. They're going to be swinging through the interior and also off the coast, and those coastal storms could cause us a little bit more trouble as well, with potential for some more moderate snow again towards kind of the end of this forecast period, the middle and end of this week. The snow is still out there, of course. It hasn't melted a whole lot. Those areas in darker blue, still over a foot of snow in those areas across the Northeast, and they're having an impact on the temperatures. Very cold this morning, down to 1 degrees in Burlington, with 17 in Boston. Albany got to -4 to start the day, and we had some wind chills down as low as around -10. I expect more of those cold nights overnight, especially where all that heavy snow is sitting on the ground, because it's going to radiate all that cool air back out to the surface. High temperatures today, mostly into the 30s and 40s, 29 degrees in Bangor, and those temperatures will warm up a little bit as this frontal system approaches, but not a whole lot. We're mostly staying fairly chilly here. Light snow and rain moving across Lakes Erie and Ontario as we head through the late afternoon and early evening hours. Buffalo up to Burlington, over to Watertown, likely getting some light snow earlier in the day. And then as this bigger band of precipitation moves up the coast, mostly rain along the coast, areas even like Manhattan in northern New Jersey, western Massachusetts, western Connecticut could see some light snow overnight, not accumulating to a whole lot because of how quickly it's moving, but the snowfall rates could be moderate at times, so may give you some travel issues if you have plans to drive into Sunday evening there across portions of the Northeast. We have a trailing system, 2 systems to talk about. One that's going to be swinging through the Great Lakes again on Monday, quick little clipper system, and then a coastal low and a frontal system that could bring us some more heavy precipitation into Tuesday with a trailing area of low pressure. Forecast snowfall with this first system is going to amount to upwards of around 2 to 3 inches in some areas. You can see there through the mountains to the north of Pittsburgh, or at least those hillier spots, upwards of 3 inches plus possible, and then just outside of Lake Ontario, upwards of 3 to 5 inches in some locations. Sunday morning's low temperatures get down to the teens again in the 20s, not quite as cold as what we saw this morning, but still chilly. Sunday's highs back into the 30s and 40s as well, and then on Monday, they're mostly not changing. Off to the south is where you see a little bit of a warm-up for areas like Roanoke to 52 degrees. So our 2 systems are tracking. The coastal low offshore, that doesn't do a whole lot. It's the trailing low that's going to give us a potential issue. The first frontal system also swinging its way through, or that next frontal system also swinging its way through Michigan, the Ohio River Valley, some light snow swinging through there, some lake effect snow behind it as well. So western Pennsylvania, western New York, down to West Virginia, a chance for some more snow showers into Monday evening. But look at that coastal low. It looks like it's going to miss the coast. It looks like it's going to stay far enough offshore. The position could still change a little bit, and that could make a big difference in the impacts we see. We'll keep you updated here, of course, but right now it looks like Maine is in store for some heavy snow from that next coastal low. How much snow can you expect? Well, the coastal low right now, our model painting on over 6 inches in portions of Maine, upwards of 3 to 5 inches for the areas in dark blue, 6+ inches maybe for some isolated areas in the hills around Watertown, and then some mostly light rain for areas along the coast. Syracuse, New York, one of the spots that could see some snow from that system as it moves through on Sunday, and again, you could see the precipitation back in the forecast Thursday into Friday, maybe even some snow flurries on Christmas. Let's get you down to Tampa, Florida, an area that saw some severe weather earlier this week, and another chance to see some potentially strong thunderstorms on Sunday.
Yeah, it's all going to be with this low pressure system that's starting out in Texas. It's going to roll across the coast, and it's going to hug the coast all the way through Florida and then move up to the Carolinas. So although it looks beautiful earlier in Tampa, not so much will be the case across parts of Florida, including Tampa, into tomorrow. And again, that all comes with this cold front. Heavy rain and thunderstorms will be possible at this point. The severe weather outlook is pretty low, but it's still something to keep an eye on. And then behind the system, not a lot of cold air yet, but that will be coming, especially towards the end of the 7-day forecast period. Low temperatures this morning, we're ending up in the upper 30s and low 40s for some and 50s for others. And then you see that big surge of warm air across Texas. That is what's giving the energy to that system that will be coming through. Temperatures this afternoon, though, ending up mostly in the 50s and 60s, with the exception of Charlotte at 49. Tampa and Miami still in the 70s, so feeling a little bit warmer there. The reason that we're not going to have a big severe weather outbreak with this system is because temperatures are too cool, but what we are definitely going to get is a lot of heavy rain. That will start moving into western Tennessee and western Mississippi west of 55 by around around 3 to 5 p.m. and then everything will start to gradually move to the east. You see this surface low develop. Lots of really heavy rain continues through the evening hours across South Mississippi and South Alabama. Heavy rain continues for a lot of Tennessee and Kentucky overnight as this low pressure system moves to the east. And then we have more heavy rain continuing into the early morning hours across Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida. The one thing we'll have to watch with this low pressure system as it moves towards Florida again, as we get towards the tomorrow afternoon time frame, this warm front will add energy to the atmosphere, and there is the chance for some of these gustier thunderstorms across parts of Florida, including Tampa. The rest of the region, though, will be starting to clear out as this low pressure system slowly moves through, but still another round of rain and maybe even a few thunderstorms is possible for Georgia, into the Carolinas, even into Monday morning. So that is going to take quite some time for this thing to get out of here. It is going to be kind of a slow mover, but on the backside of it into Monday afternoon, high pressure moving in will clear everything out and we will return to quiet weather, and that will be what we have until this next front comes in. That one, though, into Tuesday looks pretty moisture starved, so you can expect most of the rain that we're going to get over the next couple of days to happen with this weekend system. High temperatures into tomorrow, not a lot different than today. There's not much cold air behind this system. We'll be 51 in Nashville and 48 in Charlotte, 58 for Mobile, and still in the 70s for Florida. Tampa, though, drops to 70 degrees on Monday on the backside of the front, but the rest of us end up in the 50s and 60s again. Not too bad overall. Taking a look, though, at what's coming for the end of the month, we have a much higher chance to see below average temperatures from Christmas through the end of the month, so that's something to keep an eye out for. We'll be talking about that next system coming in this pattern change up ahead. Otherwise, we just have the chance for 1 to 2 inches of rain, maybe a little bit of flooding across some spots that get some heavy rain with this weekend system. West Palm Beach, though, looking pretty nice through the week.